after the campaign. I know I want to move a bunch of forces east to the Soviet border for that eventual fight we know is coming. Want to move forces, well, we'll probably leave him there. Get to the rails. You're already on rails, you can't move this turn. At least temporarily, I'm putting some of the infantry corps around. Okay, up here you get to the port. You get to the port. You're already in a port, so you get on board ship. Ships come to Oslo and get off the ships. Okay. Partisan activity. Okay, well, we've already sort of dealt with that. We're moving there. Partisan activity here. And the Netherlands. Okay, well. Yeah, you're here. You can get close enough to that. So, now I also do get the idea that the partisan activity is meant to sort of absorb a lot of German units. Yeah, let's make sure these are all on railways. We could just use, instead of converting them to regular sort of divisions and then turning them off. So I'm hoping to turn most of the, once I get them sort of set, most of the divisions to garrison here in the west. Okay, you guys have been refueled. You're at 100%. Come back up here. Come up to here. I think we're gonna get a little more out of them before they have to come back in. But I guess I gotta remember, oh yes, they come back to here next time. Back down to France so they can operate out of there. Get you to a railway. Most units are on the railways. Okay. Now, okay, supply trucks, all 70s, transports, landing ships. Landing ships, those could become, I know they're only 90 days, but let's produce those. Just thinking the Mediterranean and landing places like Malta, Crete, Cyprus, whatever that may need to be done. Escorts. Do we have any escorts currently? No. And we have definitely seen the British raiding the Norway. Yeah, no, the production tab. The only thing I really, as I've commented, and Alvaro understand, is I would like to see what's coming while, just as expanded over here to see the other thing as well. That it's more of a personal thing because I can just quickly check. Let's throw on another escort, 100 or 210 days. Yeah. Okay, those will help that. Still these. We do have a mech, Panzer, some divisions. Invade Cyprus. Air also do the same with Malta. Well, unfortunately, Malta cannot be invaded from the air because you cannot land paras on an occupied hex. That is a limitation, Arno, of the game. At least in my opinion, it's a limitation. You can do a naval invasion. That's sort of why I'm looking at that. But Cyprus, quite possibly. Take one of the ports, get supply that way, and push against whatever the garrison is there. So that looks to be a good plan. November 40, December 40. Panzers to me are just the way to go. 41, yeah, let's do this. And Italy, okay, they've got a fair stockpile. Truck supply, that looks a little weak to me. Transports, landing ships, merchant marine looks reasonably good, at least from my perspective. So let's build 2 of those. With my understanding, supply is going to become a real issue out here in the desert. Yeah, and I think we're going to save the rest of the points for a future thing. Okay, now another security division ready. So I actually sort of waited to get this sort of area sort of clear to deploy that there. Okay, so we have security divisions coming, advancements coming. I think we've moved most of the units that we really wanted to move. We're just going to wait for proper rail. Well, no, we can move them to Paris. Hold Paris. Make sure Paris doesn't start getting wonky. I think that, yeah. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to play a little beyond the next hour. So if you guys, I'm just going to extend this a little bit over the originally planned 2 hours, even though we did get Paris, but not by much. Okay, Romania yields southern Dobruja, I'm sure, to Bulgaria as part of Bulgaria's deal to join the Axis. Romania yields Transylvania to Hungary, and Germany fighter bomber advancement. 1 convoy group, South Atlantic convoy group of 1, sinking 2 convoys. Fleet has low supplies now. Okay. A little sort of political history, and I'm really glad that it's been included in the game. I don't know how much on a strategic war decision it matters, but the end of World War One, Romania, you know, is on the Allies, the Entente's side, so they get a lot of territory out of the war. You can look at maps to look at various ethnic distributions of people, and all maps have some sort of political agenda to them. Just to, I would say, any and all maps. So you can never fully trust them. Can't really go down and look at it, but you can look at maps like on stamps for Guatemala. Guatemala generally includes what is Belize, meaning, you know, sort of in their maps and their schools and whatever, Belize is part of Guatemalan territory. So, you know, all maps are sort of political that way. And so I don't know the demographic maps, how trustworthy they were as to ethnic groups. But we could see a sort of L-shaped country, because actually part of this down here had been part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. It's not the most defensible country. So they really try to get more of a, you know, larger, square, rounder, don't know how you want to say it, country with easier to defend borders. Because of World War One, well, Hungary wants territory back, Bulgaria wants territory back, the Soviet Union wants, you know, territory that Russia had lost there. So everybody's trying to grab up territory on Romania. Now, back in 1936, Romania tries to get France and secondarily also Britain to be an ally of it. And France, understanding the political situation in France, that, and this was mainly in 36 because Germany still hasn't even gotten Austria yet, and only, you know, has a fairly weak army. It really isn't worrying about the Nazis at the time, they're worried about the Soviets. Understands that the French people are not going to go to war with the Soviets over anything happening in Romania. So the idea of an alliance to defend Romania is just a non-starter with the French. Not that they don't wish the French or the Romanians well, it's just there's no way France can commit to that as a, you know, a serious commitment to fight over Romania. So Romania is out in the cold in 36. Well, also Germany in around 36, 37 is looking for an alliance with Romania. And Romania says no to it again because it's trying to be getting into a Western alliance. Fast forward a few years and you have pressure on Romania to such a degree that you're taking away huge chunks of its territory, given to two friends of the Germans in the Second Vienna Award. That's basically what's happened now. And they decide to join the Axis because that's the only real option. Because either that or Hungary's going to try to take even more territory back, and they're going to be left out from the Soviet Union. So they do succumb, because everybody's pressuring, they come into Rome, or into the Axis hands. Okay, Alvaro, have a good day. Thanks for being here. I really do appreciate your help on the stream with this. Okay, so we now have, let's see, Romania here. Invite Romania. We can invite Romania in. And we can see about, let's start with something a little more simple. We're going to see if we can invite Hungary into, now that Paris has fallen and Vichy is formed, is what we're going to try to do. Let's see if we can do that. Invite them in. I don't know if that will work right now, but I'm looking at pushing down in there. And we need to continue to move our air power down here. Prefer to have them on a railway. Now, what we can do is... just moved off of one. Okay, well, you may have noticed how I could move this air unit here and here, but not these other places. If you have a hex that you cannot base an air unit out, if you wish to, let's come here. We have, don't know if we have any here. We can build airfields and place airfields. You can see airfields allow air units to land in a hex, normally not prohibited from air units. So you can build airfields and have them get air to other areas. So that is something to keep in mind. I really haven't done it much. So I haven't done it at all, quite honestly. So, but that is something to keep in mind. Okay, so we're getting partisan activity there. Partisan activity out there. So let's come down there. These guys are in a port now, so we're going to put them in now, but I don't want to select everybody, so unselect everybody and select here. And then get out of the boats. We know you like boats, but get out. Okay, and here, get in boats. Let's come up to here and get out of boats. Okay, so my goal is just to eventually see about replacing some of these cores with divisions. I know cores can be split up, but I'm just figuring out I want to sort of purposefully do that. Now here, again, we can move by rail rapidly. Well, don't know how many import. I don't know if we need to defend every port or not. Some of these old units. Hey, thanks for following us. Do appreciate that. And if you like, you can follow me on Twitch. That's gamer_1745 for more historical gaming. Okay, they're still occupying there. Oh, and I didn't need to move these guys that way. I was thinking they were cores, not divisions. And also on YouTube, gamer_1745. There is a link on my Twitch page to my YouTube. Where is Guderian? Where is Guderian? And thank you for following. Yes, there's Guderian. Again, if you haven't noticed, Army Corps are Army Corps headquarters. Army headquarters. They're not corps. They're Army headquarters. They have generals, and you can see the list of available generals here. The grade ones are, I believe, already used. Yeah, I'm recognizing those that we currently have. So you can swap out. You can see we currently have 23 command points. It costs 24 to swap out some of them here. So, and you can see the 3 scores for combat, mobility, and tenacity for units, which really can help out that. So that's another good nuance to this game. Okay, well, before I do that, let's now because I want to move Guderian over here, so he will, we can click on and see the units he's affecting. Well, we might as well move him. Oh, he can come rather far east. There was partisan activity there. All right, now, so we're September 1940. As you can see, we're sort of limited for basing here. I could build, say, more air bases. I probably should move one of these fighters. Do we know? Not enough lift to move them via railway. Again, ground units and air units can be moved by railway. Yeah, let's get the fighters over here. And Italy here. We don't need to keep garrisoning this border. What I do want to do here is that's this one, that's right. Convert back to active divisions. Now we're going to move you down via railway. Well, I think that's Mount Etna, that volcano there. Mountain troops should be useful in going after Greece. Okay, we've used up all of our rail. No, I don't know enough about how effective it would be in the attritional war, because, you know, as you can see, I have a bunch of air units and I put them on what's this called? No, get the air unit status on full support, which as opposed to you can do it so that they're mission only if I want to do the mission. So they're on full support, so they should intercept incoming bombers. Allied bombers eventually could be American as well as British, so that they will do damage to those forces. And I don't know the cost versus, you know, the effects that they would have enough to, if they're worthy enough to do that, worthy enough to spend the costs to get that done. So I just don't know. And since I'm not planning on doing it, so you got to remember, historically, Hitler did not want to do Sea Lion because he believed Britain was going to negotiate a don't know, like a surrender really wouldn't be the term, but an armistice, an end of hostilities, something like that. Probably, I don't know how much Hitler would insist upon colonial possessions changing hands, meaning if it happened early enough, I don't know that they would have insisted that, say, Egypt goes to Italy. I just don't know what was in their mind. I think really to to the point Hitler just wanted the headache gone of Britain, and if he truly thought he could get that headache gone, he would have accepted the terms. That's just my appraisal of the situation, not any hard and fast evidence that good terms would have been given to Britain, but he wanted that to go away. Okay, so he doesn't want to invade. Now, the army thinks that going across the channel is going to be a very wide, yeah, like you're saying, he loved walruses. Aha! Hated sea lion, loved walruses. Good, Amon light line. The army looked at it as a wide river crossing, which it really wasn't, but that's how they looked at it. They thought they could do that. Hitler liked the idea of putting pressure through air attacks on Britain to try to get them to surrender. Liked the idea of putting pressure on surface raiders and submarines on Britain to get them to surrender. He liked all of that, approved of all of that. And so when Goering, of course, makes his great boasts of, destroying the British air power, and okay, well, yeah, we'll invade. It's in my opinion, the whole sea lion thing is, again, this is my opinion, was just as much about threat of an invasion as actually thinking of really invading. If Britain looks across the ocean and sees no preparation for invasion, is it likely to surrender? Maybe not so much. But if it's seeing, which the Germans were doing, building a bunch of invasion barges, converting river barges and other boats to invasion purposes, it sees all the activity going on, and it thinks the invasion could really happen, so it's more likely to surrender. So I'm not going to say it's a bluff on Hitler's part, because I think had they really won the air battle, I really think they would have tried it. But I think it's as much just sort of like, hey, don't make us do this. We will if we have to, but don't make us invade you. And, quite willing to invade if they thought the conditions were favorable. Well, as we know, they never were from the air power. So that kind of thing didn't happen. So I'm not planning on doing a sea lion. I'm not planning on invading Britain at this time. I'm planning on securing the Mediterranean next, hopefully fairly quickly. We'll see how that goes. So I'm not going to, I'm wanting to, from my experiences of invading France, I'm wanting to use all this air power that I'm bringing down here to smash through narrow passes, dealing with, places like Greece. I want to use it against naval ships instead of use the Italian fleet against the British Navy. I want to use air power. So I'm trying to want to bring that air power down here. And go for that. That's sort of my envision of, some, and we're going to see these units get a bit better organized. We can see here, 30 strength, 98 organized. We have 15 strong. This here also 30 strength, but it's only 69% effectiveness, organization, whatever you want to call it. Play a lot of games, a lot of different terms for the same type of thing. Is here, so it's not as an effective unit, but will be more effective as it organizes up similarly here. So I want to try to hit here with fewer but very effective units. These guys are still damaged and are reorganizing their effectiveness. So hit fast, hard, concentrated, where when we look to the Soviet Union, we need a lot more just infantry corps, which we're moving a bunch east. We're also going to build more infantry corps for that, and so that I'm looking at doing that. Also believing playing as close to historical as possible is the best way to give the game a good. That's well, I also admired the British and hoped. Yes, you're right. M Online, he did have those types of feelings. So yeah, close to historical run, that is a good point just to see how the game deals with historical situations. I like a game like this, unlike some other games, that you can only do realistic historical possibilities. I like that about games, and you can't do wild speculative craziness. So let's see, have we moved our... No, we have not moved our naval. So let's come up to here, down here. You guys can go to there. You guys go to there. Oh, what? Yeah, I'll move. I should have. I forgot. I should have moved south to here because we want to start basing them out of Brest and whatnot, which we can. I just keep forgetting because I'm so used to pushing here. We have our... I'm mainly going to use this squadron against whatever Soviet fleets and conquer the Baltic Ocean with it, as opposed to try to go after the British. So, mentioning future plans, we are going to be streaming this. I will be continuing this playthrough, continued live on release day on the 24th, coming, Thursday, starting at the same time, 10 a.m. here in the Pacific time zone, but 6 p.m., BST, for you in Europe. And you can figure out, of course, on the scroll down, you can see what time locally. So we'll be continuing that there. I would appreciate any of you wanting to show up for that. We can see how well a Balkans conquest will go and see how that will set up. This is a game that I think is already very good, and I think is only going to get better with time. So thanks, Magnus. Thanks, Dickie G. I really do appreciate that. So we will be continuing it then. And so, again, thank you so much for